very last storyteller of the evening is a software engineer, a writer, and an amateur chef. You can catch him performing improv comedy Fridays at 9 p.m. at Stageworks Theater in the Mission. Everyone, please welcome Krish Eswaran.
So I'm at the Grand Lake Farmers Market, standing in front of a stall for Scream Sorbet. I'm eyeing one of their pistachio flavors. It has 4 ingredients: pistachios, sugar, water, and salt. Now the year's 2010, and I'm not a fan of sorbet. It's basically a wannabe ice cream without the creaminess, and it ends up tasting a lot like flavored snow. I'm also not a big fan of nuts and ice cream. They end up getting really soggy, and honestly, you don't even taste the nuts. They're dominated by the base flavor, often of vanilla. Ugh. I'm here, though, because my cousin had shared a New York Times article that featured Scream Sorbet, and I'm intrigued. So I paid $4, yes, $4, for a cup of Scream Sorbet, and they give it to me in this tiny cup, tinier than anything you'd see, like even like the children's sizes at an ice cream store. It's tinier than that. So they give it to me in this tiny cup, and I get a spoon, a compostable spoon, and I taste it. It's creamier than regular sorbet. It's like the fat from the nut is compensating for the lack of dairy. And the flavor, it's intense. It's like I'm eating a pistachio, but it's like a pistachio that's not in solid form. It's not in liquid form. It's somewhere in between. It's like there's a new state of matter. A new state of matter between solid and liquid, and it's called ice cream. No, it's pistachio sorbet. I discovered Scream Sorbet just around the time that it was about to establish a storefront in the Temescal district of Oakland. And they opened up with a huge Art Deco sign out front that read, "Sorbet!" And that was my church. And I would bring all of my friends over there like a missionary, hoping that I could convert them and they would see the light and join the fold with me. When my cousin, the one who shared the New York Times article, came to visit from Seattle, I took her there. When a friend of mine indicated he was in the mood for ice cream, I looked at him and I said, "Have you ever considered making space in your life for sorbet?" And they have so many flavors. I mean, everything from coffee hazelnut to saffron almond, all with locally sourced organic ingredients. And you know, it's not just nut-based sorbets. The owner, Nathan Kurz, has been working on this plant pectin concoction that gives the fruit-based sorbets the same creaminess that you get in the nut-based ones. And you know the best part about this place? There's never a line. So the year's 2013, and I'm standing in front of Scream Sorbet's Temescal storefront. It's been a difficult day for me. I just received some really bad news about a family member, and all I want are those 4 ingredients: pistachio, sugar, water, and salt, blended in the right proportion, frozen, just to kind of cheer me up. But I go there and the lights are off. And so I walk up and there's a sign at the door, and I look and it says, "Closed due to a health code violation." Scream's Facebook page has more details. The ice cream is completely safe to eat, sorbet. The reason they were closed is because they didn't have enough money for the permit. Scream Sorbet is going out of business. And there have been times in my life where I felt lost for people. That was the first time I've ever felt a loss for a flavor. How can this be happening? Like, people love this place. This is amazing. It's just gone, vanished from the earth. A flavor lost to humanity. This can't be possible. Like, there has to be a way to bring it back. Hey, when's it going to come back? It has to come back. Everyone loves this place. Sure enough, it did come back, albeit briefly. There was a pop-up at Bittersweet Chocolate a few weeks later, but I missed it by a few days. They talked about it reopening, so every once in a while I'd search online for news articles, hoping that it would return. 2013 came and went. Nothing. I didn't search as much for it in 2014, but I did search for it. By 2015, I made my peace with the whole thing, and I just accepted the fate. This was lost. Thanksgiving had come around, and I was going to be visiting my cousin up in Seattle, and she asked me about Scream Sorbet, and I thought to myself, why don't we just try making a pistachio sorbet? I'm sure I can find a recipe online. It's not going to be as good. So I go online and I find this website, thejoyofblending.com. And they have a pistachio sorbet recipe. So I look at it and it has 4 ingredients. Pistachio, sugar, water, and salt. Now I'm really curious, so I read further, and it turns out the recipe had been given to them by Nathan Kurz, the co-founder of Scream Sorbet. Now, I'm not waiting until Thanksgiving for this. I go home and I immediately start making this. And when I say immediately, the process is actually not that immediate. It's basically a 2-blend process. You put all the ingredients together in a Vitamix, blend it on the highest setting for 2 minutes, put those in ice cube trays, freeze the ice cube trays overnight, and then crush the ice cubes back in the Vitamix to create that creamy consistency, breaking down the extra. So after that 24-hour period, I had my first taste. It's the same flavor. It's that same exact flavor that I'd had 5 years ago in the farmer's market. And I'm thinking about, wow, I have made this by myself. I have recreated Scream from scratch. No, I have resurrected Scream Sorbet. I do what anyone would do. I share this. I share this with the world. I start regularly having sorbet parties, inviting over. I blog about this in an article that I titled "Resurrecting Scream Sorbet," and people respond to it. I get a bunch of comments from people who miss the flavor, thanking me for reintroducing this into their lives. One of those people is Charlotte Druckmann, the author of that New York Times article. She wants to know if I have the contact information for Nathan Kurz, that co-founder of Scream Sorbet. Until that moment, I hadn't thought about contacting him. Why did I ever think of that? So, I do what anyone would do. I go online and I search for it. And it's not easy. There are a bunch of Nathan Kurzes out there, and most of them don't seem to be this person. I do happen upon a GitHub account by one N. Kurz. GitHub's a code repository for the uninitiated. And so I go on there and I see that this N. Kurz created their GitHub account in the year 2009. I'm completely normal, everyone. 2009. And didn't start checking in any code until later in 2013, a few months after Scream Sorbet went out of business. Unfortunately, there's no contact information, so I do what anyone would do. I look at the code that this person wrote, and I realize it's about CPU compiler optimization. So I type online Nathan Kurz CPU compiler optimization, and I find a blog article written by Nathan Kurz about compiler optimization, and there's an email address. So I send him an email. And I ask him, are you the Nathan Kurz of Scream Sorbet? Within an hour, I have my answer. Hi, Krish, you found the right name. And that starts a conversation where I ask him all about his processes. And by the end of this email exchange, he has shared with me a PDF of every single recipe he has. And he ends his message by saying, even greater than the loss of the business, one of the biggest sadnesses was all the knowledge that was lost. Use and spread as you see fit. So the year is 2018. I'm at the Garden Creamery in the Mission, sampling their many delicious flavors. And I asked the person behind the counter, had they considered making one of their really great flavors in using a nut-based base. And they said they didn't think that was possible. And so I responded and I said, well, I have a recipe for you.
I really want a sorbet right now. Who in the audience would love to have that recipe? Well, guess what? We printed out the recipe. And they are over there on the edge of that table, so feel free to grab one on your way out. And on the back, bonus, is a coupon for a discount at the Fisherman's Wharf Hostel. Their cafe. I don't know how much it is, but I'm sure it's worth going up there.
100%.
It's not a coupon, it's just free food. So thank you everyone for coming. Our next show is August 14th. The theme is Fish Out of Water. We also have a free storytelling workshop on July 10th. Please check us out on Facebook. On YouTube we have a bunch of our videos. And we also have our own website, beyondborderstorytelling.org. Thank you so much to John Schilder and Hi USA. And to Piano Fight Theater for letting us be here every other month. And also to my fellow producers, Will Sparger and Megan McMahon. Most of all, I'd like to thank all of our storytellers for being courageous and sharing their stories with us tonight. Can we have them all come up and make a final round?